I'm John and welcome back to another video, and a huge welcome to my channel for those who haven't been here before, where I talk about resumes, CVs, applying for jobs, interviewing, employment, and everything in between. So welcome. So today's a quick video on a number of resources that you can use, online resources that you can use to apply to jobs, to find jobs, and to apply to jobs. Um, Applying for jobs today is so much easier than it ever used to be. When, in the old days, typing up a resume or a CV on a typewriter, mailing it off, and when primarily the only resource we had was the classified section in our local newspapers. It's so much easier today. There are so many websites out there, job listing websites, but I'm going to cover 8 that, if you haven't used them, I strongly suggest that you give them a look. Some of them you may be very familiar with. So in no particular order, here are the websites I think that you should definitely check out as part of your job search strategy. Number 1 is Indeed. Indeed is a great site, and when I had my recruiting company, it was perhaps one of the number 1 resources my team would use when sourcing candidates, finding what we used to call passive candidates, people who may not have been actively looking, but we reach out to see if they were interested in one of our clients' opportunities. So Indeed has 2 aspects to it. You can upload your resume to be found by recruiters, and it has a very good job board on it. They say that on Indeed, 10 new jobs are added every second. So there's a wide range to select from. A number of great resources as well, helping, resources for the job seeker, resume builders, that type of thing. So definitely a great source to check out. Number 2, and I've spoken about it here on this channel before, is LinkedIn. Now, LinkedIn, very similar to Indeed, but it goes a little bit further insofar as that you can actually create a profile where you can add extra information such as skill sets, experience. You can source recommendations from your contacts. You can have featured items. So if you have a portfolio, you can upload your portfolio. So it goes a little bit further than Indeed. And a number of great networking, number of networking groups. I would caution a little bit about joining too many groups. You'll find that you may start receiving a lot of spam. But you can definitely find new contacts in the groups. And again, like Indeed, LinkedIn makes applying for jobs very easy. You can search by your region, your job title, and it's a one button application process in most cases. A lot of employers will then triage you into their back-end applicant tracking system to go through the whole application process. But generally, applying for jobs on LinkedIn is very straightforward and very easy. Another website, I didn't use this one so much, and I don't really speak about this one so much, but another one that you may want to consider, because it is becoming very increasingly more popular, is Career Builder. And again, there are resources there that you can build a resume, and you'll find very similar functionalities that you'll see on LinkedIn and Indeed in terms of how you apply for jobs, how you can search for open positions, and how you then apply for them. One site I do like quite a bit, and I'll be talking about it in an upcoming video, where I'll be discussing how to answer the question on what your salary expectations are. Another great website is Glassdoor. Glassdoor has, in a way, it has 2 sides. It has the job board where you can apply for jobs, but then it has another function in that it's a review site, and I think there are 2 million companies have reviews left on Glassdoor. So you can, if you're considering applying to a company, you have an interview coming up, definitely you can check out the reviews. There's also some great information there on what companies are paying. So Glassdoor is another great site to consider. One of the very first online job boards that became very, very popular is Monster. Now, Monster, again, like the other sites, has a listing of jobs. It has a listing of open positions companies are advertising. You can upload your resume as well. And there are networking boards as well. So very similar to LinkedIn in that respect. There are networking boards you can consider joining. But again, just be a little bit careful about how much personal information. I really strongly I recommend that you don't post your email address or your phone number on the job boards on Monster or on LinkedIn. Now, another one, you've probably heard the advertisements, ZipRecruiter, all over the radio, all advertised quite heavily online. ZipRecruiter is a little bit different than the other sites where you actually have to enter the, the positions that you're looking for and where you're looking at working. Where ZipRecruiter has an AI, very AI heavy, where they have, I think what was his name? Phil, where Phil will ask you a bunch of questions such as what are your salary expectations, what is your job title, your desired job title, where you want to work, and then he'll produce a series of open positions that you can apply to. One great thing about ZipRecruiter, and I think that Indeed has something similar as well, is that ZipRecruiter will tell you once you've applied when a recruiter has actually opened and read your resume. So you'll get a sense of where you are in that process. Now, this one is not as common as the others, but it does seem to be becoming more and more popular, is Ladders. Now, Ladders seems to be geared more towards executive level positions at a higher pay scale. And with Ladders, you can filter by your desired job title and compensation level. And it does have the added bonus of including an ATS checker, where you can run your resume through an ATS system to see how effective it will be getting through the screening process. Now, a word of caution about a lot of the online ATS checkers is that they tend to, for lack of a better term, produce a lot of false positives, where it might say that you're missing a lot of the key skills, but some of the skills they might be referring to will be the soft skills, which tend to not be heavily focused on during an ATS screen. And number 8 on the list, and this is actually quite good if you haven't used it, is Google. If you type in, say for example, you live in Toronto, you live in New York City, you'll type in New York City jobs, and it will produce a listing of all the jobs that are being posted on other sites. So it consolidates everything. Now, it is rather, it doesn't have a lot of the functionalities, of course, of the other sites where you obviously cannot upload your resume. There's no ATS checker, there's no resume service included. But it is, if you're looking at doing a very quick job search, definitely Google. Now, a lot of these sites do aggregate postings from each other and from other job boards as well. Some companies tend to only post jobs on LinkedIn. Some might prefer to use Monster. So it is really good to consider looking at a number of these sites and using a variety of them rather than just focusing on one, just to maximize your reach as much as possible. So if you have any other sites that you think we'd like to know about, any sites that have produced great results for you, any other resources that you think could help another job seeker, please leave me a comment below. If you haven't already, I would truly appreciate you subscribing to this channel, and if you got some value from this, giving it a thumbs up. Thanks again, and I will see you on the next video.